It looks like Caitlin Clark might finally be making her return this week, and the buzz is absolutely exploding right now because straight out of Indiana, we've got breaking news that the Fever just made a roster move so shocking that it has the entire WNBA talking. Fans are refreshing feeds nonstop. Insiders are whispering about hidden strategies, and all signs point directly to one thing: Caitlin Clark stepping back onto that court sooner than anyone thought, and if she does, it's going to change everything for Indiana, for the standings, and for the league itself, because when her name comes back into the spotlight, it isn't just a headline. It's a storm that shakes the entire WNBA, and you can feel it building already. The Indiana Fever just dropped a bombshell by cutting Kyra Lambert, and while most casual fans might scroll right past that tiny line on the transaction page, diehards know exactly what this means, because you don't just release a player mid-season without a bigger plan behind it, and the timing here is way too perfect. It screams something major is coming, and when you connect the dots, there's really only one name at the center of it all: Caitlin Clark. Because Lambert wasn't a rotation piece, she wasn't a spark off the bench, she played a single minute across 2 games, she was clearly a placeholder. And the second the Fever decided to move her off the roster, it opened the door for the one move every fan has been waiting for: Clark's return. Now, fans are losing their minds because Caitlin Clark hasn't even been traveling with the team lately, and every missed game has only turned up the speculation even higher. So, the question everyone is asking is simple: are the Fever just being overly cautious, or are they setting up the ultimate comeback moment to drop her right when the spotlight is the brightest? Because with Lambert gone, the roster slot is open, and unless Indiana is hiding some secret deal with an overseas player nobody's heard of, every single arrow, every piece of math, every whisper online points to one conclusion: that Clark's return is closer than anyone expected, and the Fever are lining it up with perfect timing. Social media is already on fire with wild theories because some fans swear this move means the Fever are about to bring in Kennedy Carter, even though she literally just signed somewhere else. Others think it's a cover-up for Sophie Cunningham's health status, but when you strip away all the noise and look at the facts, it all circles back to one truth: Caitlin Clark's comeback is right around the corner, because cutting Lambert wasn't about depth or strategy, it was about creating space. And if you're Indiana, you don't clear that seat unless you're saving it for the franchise star who changes everything the second she touches the floor. But here's the part that really has people buzzing. Because if Caitlin Clark does come back right now, it could be against the Minnesota Lynx, the best team in the league, and that would be pure baptism by fire, throwing her straight into the lion's den where every possession matters, every mistake gets magnified, and every veteran on that roster is waiting to test her. And while some say that's reckless, others argue it's exactly the kind of high-stakes stage where Clark thrives. Because let's be real, Indiana knows they can't survive this brutal stretch of the schedule without her, and if they want any shot at staying in the playoff picture, they have no choice but to roll the dice on their superstar. Insiders are already weighing in, and one voice that stands out is Fever beat reporter Scott Agnes, who told fans to have patience and hinted that Clark might still be several weeks away. But the problem is his timeline doesn't match the Fever's desperation, because Indiana's upcoming schedule is brutal, with Minnesota twice, Seattle, the Sparks, the Valkyries, Phoenix, and Chicago all lined up. And if Clark isn't back soon, this team could sink fast. So while the official word is caution, the reality feels like urgency, because every day she sits, the pressure gets heavier, the speculation gets louder, and the Fever know the season is slipping unless number 22 walks back onto that court. And that's where the tension hits a whole new level, because this isn't just about a groin injury or a roster move anymore. This is about the identity of the Indiana Fever and the direction of the entire league. Because Caitlin Clark isn't just a player, she's the storyline, the ticket sales, the national headlines, and every time she sits out, it feels like the WNBA loses momentum. So the second Indiana even hints at her return, the ripple effect is massive. Fans start buying tickets, ESPN clears segments, social media explodes, and suddenly every team in the league is scrambling to adjust their game plan, because defending Clark is like defending 2 players at once. She stretches defenses, she forces doubles, and she makes role players look like stars, which is exactly why the Fever can't afford to keep her out much longer. The silence from the Fever only makes this crazier because nobody in the organization is saying a word. Not the coaches, not Sophie Cunningham, not even the front office. And in this league, silence usually means one of two things. Either they're hiding bad news or they're about to drop a bombshell. And fans know it too because every insider feed is getting refreshed every 5 minutes. Every cryptic tweet is being dissected like it's a code, and all of it comes back to the same point. This team lives and dies with Caitlin Clark. Without her, they're just fighting to stay relevant. But the moment she comes back, the entire WNBA flips upside down, and Indiana instantly becomes the story everyone's talking about. And that's why this roster move feels so obvious because, let's be real, cutting Kyra Lambert was never about her. It was always about the seat she was keeping warm for Caitlin Clark. And now that it's open, the message couldn't be louder. The Fever are preparing for their superstar's return because Indiana without Clark is just another middle-of-the-pack team grinding for scraps. But with her, they turn into a headline machine that sells out arenas, drives television ratings, and forces every single opponent to change their entire game plan. So when you look at the timing, the schedule, the desperation, and the silence from the franchise, it all points to one reality. Caitlin Clark's return isn't just coming soon. It's about to shake the entire league to its core. So here's the bottom line. The Indiana Fever can shuffle bench players all they want. They can cut contracts. They can stay silent in press conferences. But every single move they make is about one thing, Caitlin Clark, because she isn't just the face of the Fever. She's the heartbeat of the WNBA right now. And the league knows it, the networks know it, and most importantly, the fans know it. And that's why this single roster decision has people talking like it's a championship announcement. Because the truth is, Indiana can't afford to wait any longer. The schedule is brutal, the playoff race is heating up, and without Clark, this team doesn't stand a chance. But with her, they don't just compete, they become must-watch basketball. Every arena sells out, every game becomes a headline, and every rival coach has to completely rewrite their strategy. So whether her return happens against Minnesota, Seattle, or even later, the writing is on the wall. Caitlin Clark is coming back, and when she does, it won't just change the Fever season, it will shake the entire league, reset the balance of power, and remind everybody that in 2025, there's still only one name capable of moving the needle every single night, and that name is Caitlin Clark. At the end of the day, this entire saga proves one thing. Every roster move, every insider rumor, every silent press release, it all comes back to Caitlin Clark because she isn't just another player sitting out with an injury. She's the engine that drives the Fever. She's the headline the WNBA survives on. And she's the reason fans are packing arenas night after night. So when Indiana cut Kyra Lambert, it wasn't just a transaction, it was the signal, the message to everyone paying attention that the countdown to Clark's return has officially started. And once she steps back onto that court, the ripple effect will be massive. Ticket sales will spike, ratings will surge, rival teams will panic, and the entire league will revolve around her again. Because the WNBA in 2025 can't escape it. Love her or hate her, everything flows through Caitlin Clark. And when she finally makes that comeback, it won't just change the Fever season, it will reshape the entire league and remind the world why she is the most important player in basketball right now. So here's where it all comes together. The Fever's quiet roster move, the silence from the front office, the endless speculation online. None of it really matters on its own, because all of it points back to one truth: Caitlin Clark is the center of this league, the player every fan is waiting on, the name that turns regular games into national events, and Indiana knows it, the WNBA knows it, the media knows it, and that's why this timing feels bigger than basketball, because her return isn't just about boosting the Fever's chances, it's about rescuing a season that has been hanging in limbo, it's about giving the league the spark it desperately needs, and it's about proving, once again, that one superstar can flip the entire balance of power overnight. And when Clark finally walks back onto that floor, the ripple will be felt everywhere, in the standings, in the arenas, in the ratings, and in the headlines, because the truth is simple: The WNBA runs on her energy, and the moment she returns, the whole basketball world will stop, watch, and realize that Caitlin Clark isn't just back, she's about to take over.